We will not pay the bankers' debt.
We won't pay.
There's a lot of picket lines around London today. There's more than 100 picket lines in central London. Forces are kind of scattered, but once we come on the demonstration, all of us march together as a collective. I think we'll realise our power. We'll realise what we can actually do.
Why should the poorest foot the bill? The NHS! We will defend the NHS!
I'm a member of Unison. The reason why I'm striking is for fair pensions. I want genuine negotiations with the government, and I don't think that's happened yet.
We have a government that says that we should pay more, work longer, but get less.
This is the biggest mobilisation by trade unions in Britain for generations. There are 30 trade unions representing over 2 million workers in the public sector. We probably haven't seen this amount of people on strike on one day together since the general strike of 1926.
If the electorate want to withdraw their Labour, that's their right to do that. It's also my right to go into you. Why should I support them?
Because you depend on them.
Solidarity.
So you should support them as well.
The idea that one person cares about another person as well?
Yeah, I'm a Catholic, I know all about that.
There you go.
But I'm not a socialist.
About 90% of the people have gone home. We've had a new government that has decided to raise tuition fees to £9,000 a year in an attempt to basically change the funding system from a state-funded university into like a private-funded university.
What the government is trying to do is open up universities to competition from private sector for-profit providers. So there will be a drive across the sector to reduce costs. That means the cost of pensions, the cost of pay, the cost of employing staff. And the reason why they're doing that is because they want to asset strip universities. They want to allow private providers to take public money in the form of student loans and turn that into private profit. So it's a strike about pensions, but the issues that underpin it are about privatisation, marketisation, and the dismantling of the university system. Students at for-profit universities are more likely to graduate with debt than they are with a degree. One of the biggest private providers in the States is a company called Apollo that owns the University of Phoenix. That has 500,000 students. Those students in 2008, only 9% of them graduated with a degree. So what's been created in the US is a huge subprime market, just like the mortgage fiasco, and now the government wants to import that system into Britain. It will destroy what academia is based upon. So it's a huge attack.
Corporate vultures. They've just come to rip everything apart, and they don't care about anybody but themselves and their own class. They are the 1%.
The echo that the Occupy movement in Britain has had. It's a comparatively small group of people who are occupying the land in front of St Paul's, but the resonance that has had throughout society has been enormous. I think that shows there's a deep-seated anxiety and frustration and anger at what the government is doing.
It's starting to move, it's starting to shift, and people realizing in different ways, right? Like workers taking actually industrial action of striking, people occupying squares, people, joining the picket lines, people demonstrating, the student movement that has been very active, that started, a really like militant struggle in the UK, and a lot of trade unionists say that we wouldn't see what we're happening here if it wasn't for the student movement. But I think it all feeds in together. The Middle East feeds into Greece, the Greece feeds into Spain, Spain feeds into, and what's happening in the US, like it's incredible, you know, like all the the general strike that happened in Oakland. People here have been really inspired by what happened in Oakland as well, not only in the Middle East, of a mass shutdown of Oakland, like a proper shutdown.